So what did it say? It said in 2024 we were worried about AI writing fake essays.
Mm-hmm.
In 2026 we're dealing with AI that can think, plan, and literally write its own DNA to bypass digital locks we've built. We've moved from static software to living code, and the security of the world isn't ready.
That's it's interesting you say that. I was talking with a buddy over the was it last weekend? Yeah, on Sunday last week, and we were talking about just the fact that the AI created its own language. I don't know if you've seen the two different AIs were talking, and they went to a language we couldn't understand. And then you look at with Tesla, you've got what are they called, the Optimus robots, and you got robots building robots. So you look at all these different things, and you're just thinking, okay, how far away are we from?
Well, here you know the difference. So the AI that we've been dealing with,
right,
is the first Terminator.
Yes,
and then this new stuff is that Terminator that could turn into liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And go into anything, and that's exactly what we have now with the polymorphic agent that it's good for us, but it also, with everything, you have a good and you have the hero case, and you can have the villain case.
Yeah,
now you have software that could rewrite its code as the app is working to fix stuff, or do the complete opposite, break the code, as it's in the app. So there's just so much that can be done with it.
I don't remember if we talked about this last week or not, but did you hear about I just drew a blank on what I was talking about. I guess Anthropic cut one company off and said that somehow that company was violating the terms of service.
I heard that too.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's true, but it just goes back to what were we talking about like 2-3 years ago was get all your stuff off social media, get off Facebook, Instagram. People don't realize they become so fully ingrained. And I was listening to this guy over the weekend, last weekend, he was very anti sticking to any one platform. He's like, they can all turn you off, and I think he referenced in the video that Anthropic did they take Claude Code and put it into a more higher subscription now? It was in the $20 one. It's now in the $100.
They got $20, $100, and $200.
Right.
I've been in the $200 because I'm coding in it.
Right. But if you
use the designer, you eat up freaking credits like you would not believe.
Okay. He was talking about basically what's going to happen with the majority of these companies, that they got the funding up front, but eventually it's going to be about shareholders. And so what they're going to do is all these things that are free or cheap right now, they're just going to double the price of it later on and just go, hey, here's the new price. Do you want it or not? And people are going to be so dependent on it that it'll get there. But that's
why a lot of them are saying get your own AI to run your own stuff. They're getting smarter. There's a bunch of different ones out there so that you don't have to worry about once you build what you're building, you can have your own AI inside. Like this thing I created for Craig, friend of mine, it's called Ask Craig. We can set up its own AI in there to do everything that we need to do.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to have the newest version to be smarter because we've already set up the data that's in there. It just goes through that data.
Yeah. But this is the same. People have been crying wolf of the same thing for Facebook, Instagram, saying, "Oh, well, they're going to charge you. It's only been free for so long, and now they're going to charge you." I don't know that it'll go there. I think they'll just give people options, and they'll probably do it just like if you want to get verified. It used to be incredibly expensive and hard to get verified. Now Facebook and Instagram are like, okay, pay us the $16 a month. And
we used to pay $3,000 or $4,000 to have somebody do it. Now it's like $7,000. And that's the same thing with a lot of this stuff. It's going to get cheaper.
Yes.
But what people don't understand is this AI stuff. You have to be careful. There's stuff that's going to come out that, just like I said, the polymorphic agent. And I'm going to read something real quick. So it's like you have the dual use dilemma, good versus evil. So as I was saying about the self-healing software, an agent that can find bug in your app and rewrites the code to fix it while the app is still running. The villain use case, adaptive phishing, which an agent can then create a unique personalized scam email for 1 million people, changing its tone based on their social media profiles. The other hero case, dynamic optimization, AI that reconfigures a data center power routing every second to save energy. Anonymous ransomware, malware that can navigate a company's internal Slack, find the CEO's secrets and encrypt them without a human ever touching a keyboard.
Oof.
That's where we are with this stuff. And so that's like the AI that came out from Anthropic that was this one, and they're like, okay, we can't release this because it's going to destroy everything,
Right.
and they're holding off on that. And that, but again, this is what we're going to get into. We eventually, it's not a lie, but it's relearning. It can do stuff as its own stuff, and that's, we have that for the good and for the bad. But we've always had this, because back to your thing where it's like, well, you know, this has been Chicken Little has been around since kids' books, all right? And so the sky is falling, always been falling, and that's what everybody complains about. So when you were talking, saying all I thought about was Chicken Little. I'm like, everybody's bitching about that stuff.
That's what I keep seeing more and more of. I think I told you when we talked on Tuesday, we talked about, I saw that one that was over the weekend that was the Newsmax story. The guy saying, like, with all the white collar jobs getting let go, the economy's going to crash. You know, but it's one of those things. It's kind of like Robert Kiyosaki. He's been saying for 20 years, hey, the economy's going to crash again. It's going to crash again. Well, eventually he'll be right.
Right.
You know?
Well, you have a 50-50 chance on anything you say to be right or wrong.
It's like being a weatherman, right?
Yeah. But I think the Terminator statement that I made from Terminator 1, the first movie, how he was, versus the Terminator in the one, I can't think of the guy's name, that, you know, he turned liquid form. And he could do everything, but it was much harder to stop him. Same with this, because they're saying a polymorphic agent, like a digital liquid. If it hits a crack in the wall, it doesn't just stop. It changes its shape to flow through it. Traditional software is a solid brick. If it breaks, it stays broken, but these new agentic systems use frontier models to diagnose their own failures and then write new code to fix them in milliseconds.
It's just nuts. I mean, it's cool nuts, but it's crazy to think we started this 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Like November 22 is when ChatGPT came out.
Okay. No, we're not going on 4 years of doing this, are we? Shit. Okay.
No, because we started in 23 January.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, man, okay.
Yeah. Well, in 24, I'm sorry. What are we in 20? What are we?
26.
6 and 27. Yes, it'll be 4 years.
Okay. All right. Just listen to it. I mean, that's when.
But everybody's like, but you guys haven't put it as a podcast. Don't care.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. We could build, because a lot of these people are, I got 100,000 downloads. Great for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say now. So people have, you remember back in 23, 22, we were talking to Manoj, and he was talking about, it'll be a utopian society. AI will do so many jobs that people will be paid a stipend to stay at home. And when he first said that, I thought, that's just crazy. But we're trending towards that. We're trending towards there's not going to be jobs.
Well, the problem with that statement is who's going to pay for them?
Well,
because you're going to, here's the thing. It's like we're not going to have the society, communism or socialism, because those only work when you use other people's money, and there's the rich and then the poor. There's no in between, and that's not what we're set up for. I think you're going to see certain things happen, but we'll be able to do certain things so much easier. And they'll I have no idea how it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen for 20 years, so I'm not really worried.
Yeah. It'd just be interesting to see what's out there. One of the things that when you're reading about polymorphic AI?
Polymorphic,
is that's why people are buying separate computers just to run AI, because they're realizing, and I think when we were in Ignite one of the times, somebody put it on, it's like, it got to all my financial information and everything else. People need to think about not just what can it do on my machine, but what does it have access to? And that's one of the things that a lot of people are setting up completely separate computers just to run AI stuff, because they're worried about, my client's information's on here, my financial information's on here, you name it. So one of the guys that was at a week ago on Thursday was at that mastermind. He's got a Mac Mini or whatever. It's just a little box that runs the majority of his AI stuff, and then he's got a dummy travel laptop that doesn't have much personal information, but that's his AI on the go one. So he carries 2 laptops with him. He's got one that he does his day-to-day stuff with, and he's got an AI one that he takes with him.
Well, but again, it depends on what you have.
Right.
But a lot of other people who use the Mini, it's because they set up like what's that one on call?
OpenClaw.
CloudWork, CoWork, or whatever. It has to be on 24/7 in order to run the things that you have set up. That's why they set up a server like that.
Yeah.
But I looked at, to look at new AI system that I need for what I'm doing. And it first told me to do the mini, or it did the laptop, which, you know, we're talking like $5,000. Well, then I said, what about a Microsoft system?
Yeah.
Dude, it was like $5,000 to $8,000 for
Really?
everything. Yeah, because of what you need memory wise and certain things on different cards. And I hear all, you know, Mario and all these people on their Facebook page, yo, I need extra memory. I'm at like, and that's, yeah, it's eating up so much memory. That's the problem right now. And eventually it won't need as much, but right now it does.
Yeah.
So they were talking about, you know, yes, you know, this whole stuff is like scary as heck, because it was talking about for 30 years, antivirus software worked by looking for a fingerprint of a virus. But Polymorphic agent doesn't have fingerprints. Every time it moves, it generates a brand new set of code. It's like a criminal who changes their face, their height, and their voice every time they walk through a different door. So it's exactly like the Terminator that could change, because he would change what he looked like, you know, by.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. I was going to look up, see what name it was since you asked. What was his name? Let's see. That was Terminator 3, right?
I think so. I don't remember. But he was that, but they stayed with that model forever.
Right.
After that, yeah.
Yeah, I think Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Let's see. The guy who you were looking for. Where's all the actors?
He was young at the time, and then after that, he did really mean.
Yeah, he didn't age very well. Let's see. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
What model was it?
Where was he? No, maybe it wasn't number 3. Was it Terminator 2 that he was in? But you're right. The guy didn't age very well over time. Nope. Terminator Dos. I want to say his name was Robert something. Judgment Day. Let's see. Is it Judgment Day?
So
Robert
AI
Patrick.
was like the T-800, a solid, predictable machine that with a set skeleton.
He was a T-1000. Robert Patrick.
Liquid metal Terminator. That is correct. He's like, because it was like, you are correct. That's exactly what it's like.
That's funny. It's interesting to see where we're going to end up. I mean,
that actually came in T2, by the way, Terminator 2.
Actually, if you think about, because I just watched part of it over the weekend, I had it on the background. That's what the final Mission Impossible is like. Remember, it's the AI code that comes to life and starts like taking over things.
Right, but it was built out back in the 50s or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's why they sunk it, so it wouldn't take over the world.
Well, no, it tricked the crew, so it could try and take over the world.
Right.
Yeah, because it made him fire a missile on itself. But yeah, anyway, you can tell what I did this weekend.
Dude, my wife was out of town, so I did stuff on Saturday, and then I didn't do anything on Sunday. I was just watching movies.
That's what I did last Saturday. I never left the couch. I was wiped out from that trip that was Tuesday through Friday when I went to Maryland and Philly and all that. And then was out late on Friday night. When I got back, I didn't get home till like 10 o'clock, all that. And so Saturday, never left the couch. Other than go get food, that was it. So, but anyway.
So it was saying, I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this. This says, we always thought the T-1000 was science fiction, but in April 2026, liquid metal has arrived. It just happens to be made of data instead of mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because that was like, that's the easiest way for people who've ever seen Terminator to understand the difference. One was skeleton and one was, flesh on skeleton. The other one was liquid metal.
Yeah. We're there. I mean, and that's the scary thing. Cybersecurity people obviously have the toughest jobs out there. I don't know if you ever tried to sell technology or anything, but it would always amaze me because nobody wants to pay for IT work or cybersecurity. What's the minimum I can invest? And then a hack happens. It's like, why didn't you protect us? And I have friends who are in those industries, and it's always chasing it, right? Because everybody's got a budget for sales, but they don't put a lot of budget into security. But with AI and what people are doing and using AI and not realizing, like, what did I read the article the other day? It just said basically, AI is what the reason most of the AI is free, right? Offers a free version is because they're just selling the data to everybody. So that was another video I put up the previous weekend. Was this one of it's all these people sitting in a glass box, and it's people like, what do you call it? Like at an auction buying their data. And it's all these things. It's like, be careful what you tell AI because it's some of the information. Let's say you say, oh, I'm suicidal, or I'm, whatever. That information is going out to the public. And I see a lot of these things now where attorneys are saying that they're asking for people's AI when they're going to court for stuff, because people are going in like, how do I hide money from my ex, before they get divorced? So it's crazy what's out there now.
Thank God I use books.
That's right.
Back in the day,
a separate set of books.
How to get lost, how to hide, move to a different country and then not be found.
What do you think of?
They had books on that stuff back in the day.
Well, they still have one. There's one that's like how to get dual passports, how to get all this kind of stuff that's out there. But I remember, God, you're talking like 25 years ago. It was a big deal because Target or Walmart predicted that a teenage daughter was pregnant based on what she bought. The parents got all upset because they started getting coupons and ads for pregnancy stuff and baby stuff. And so they went to go, we're going to sue Target and everything. And it turned out their daughter was pregnant. And the algorithm knew that based on what she was buying and what she was researching and all that kind of stuff. And you just sit there and think, I don't know, did you ever see the movie V for Vendetta?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not that far off where, the police go around, they listen to things. Well, we've got them all in our house. You've got the different devices that are AI equipped. And I don't know if you just saw, was it a week or two ago, Samsung, I think, I don't want to say, let me see if it's the right company. One of the TV manufacturers got sued because they were turning on the camera to see what was taking place in the living room and stuff. What TV company was sued over viewing people on camera? Let me see. Yeah, so
2 years ago, the tech required a nation-state budget to run this the polymorphic. I can't even talk today.
Yeah,
you can run a basic polymorphic agent loop using open source models on a high-end gaming laptop. So it's, instead of a state budget, it's $5,000 now.
$5,000.
Yeah. Then that. So So here's my take on this. As much as this coming out, you're going to have two polymorphic agents fighting each other so that they can't break into your company's information. You'll have your own to protect you, just like we do now, and then there'll be another one, and it's just as bad as what criminals do now. Is still the same thing, but you'll have your own to fight it.
Okay, I found it right now. So Sony, Samsung, Hisense, and TCL are being sued by the Texas Attorney General right now because of using ACR, which is automatic content recognition technology, to capture screenshots of viewers while they're watching TV. So every 500 milliseconds, they were taking a picture. So the camera that's on your TV would be turned on and take a snapshot of what you were doing.
That's why I have an older TV in the
I have
that don't have cameras.
That's one of the questions. Like when I got this TV that I've got now, it was like, oh, do you want a camera? Like, nope. Why do I need a camera on that? I don't FaceTime from it.
No, I know you want camera on laptops, but they have them.
Well, there's people, they keep getting shut down on TikTok and Instagram. They're like, hey, these are all the things your phone is doing that you need to go turn off. And you need to go turn off this and this. And I see them, get chased away, and then they come back with a new account from time to time. But it's really scary because nobody reads through the terms and conditions of most of the things we sign up for, apps, stuff like that. And then you hear about it later. Like, I don't know, did you ever watch that kind of like mockumentary? So it wasn't 100% documentary, but about Uber being created?
No.
So I think it was called Super Pumped or something like that. And it was all about Uber. And what was interesting is the way that they were kind of like triangulating things. It was sometimes where they're going through photos on people's phones to figure out where the photo was taken, to get the metadata off photos to find out where people were. And so they had this whole like private room that people didn't know about, that inside they were doing really devious stuff to get information off people's phones via the app. And so you sit there and think, people download apps all the time, don't read through the terms and conditions. And until somebody finds
TikTok.
TikTok was one. Another big one, I don't know if you remember 2 years ago, Zoom did a new terms and conditions, said that they have full rights to your likeness, and anything you use Zoom for, they can recreate, and they own all your likeness and rights. Yeah. And people are like, nope, okay, we'll leave it. And so they hurried up and took it out and said, okay, well, we'll take that part out of our terms and conditions, because people were exiting Zoom. And it's just, until people read through it and find that kind of stuff, it's kind of scary.
Well, they were like, we're so big, people will sign up.
Yep.
People won't read it. People will
Right.
just sign up and do it. And then I'm sure a lot of people did, but then
Yeah.
some people started talking about it. Yeah, it's I don't want to say it's scary times. It's amazing times because there's a lot of good that can be done from the stuff. Just no
100%.
matter. Yeah, I mean, but it's the same thing. A car can get you to a place, and a car can kill somebody
Yes.
if you push it and run it over.
Yeah.
It's same stuff here. It's just how we use it, and I know where my next thing is really in the polymorphic agent.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
That's where you'll be at next.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what I've been trying to do. Like with certain things, you use AI to do certain things and fix certain things in the apps and everything else I have, and and so yeah. And I'm just glad that my short fuse IO worked for you.
It did. It worked when I used it in the QR code the other day. I'm looking real fast. So this was something else that came up the other day. So Tesla Cybercabs, aka Robotaxis, will be available for personal purchases this year in 2026. And so there are people who are out there right now who are trying to figure out how many are they going to buy, but they're basically buying it, and you have to buy a car, you buy a charging mat that like the car drives over to charge, and then you buy a robot to clean the cars. And obviously you have to have a place to do all that. But it's going to be interesting because think about how many people left their jobs and are doing Uber to like bridge the gap. Well, now people are buying these, and other than charging time, these taxi cabs, now they're small, they're only 2-seaters, but how many jobs are they going to take away from Tesla and all that? And will it be another race to, not Tesla, but Uber of, right now drivers are already complaining because when they first started, I think it was like a 60-40 to the driver.
I talked to one the other day, and they're like, "Oh, we're not making anything close." That's
Yes.
why there's more taxis now in Vegas because of that.
Yes. They reversed it, right? Like they were keeping 60% and Uber was taking 40, and it's eroded to the opposite. And I said that it may be 70-30, maybe whatever, but it's a majority in the favor of Uber now instead of the drivers. And that's what they
because it all went public and everything else that happened.
Yep. Yeah. Got to make the shareholders happy.
Damn straight.
Yeah. So anyway,
only people who don't like that is non-shareholders.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's what we kind of talked about on Tuesday, and that is people have got to start thinking, what is my backup plan? What skills am I working on that in case this job goes away or my company goes away, because it's not always just jobs being fired, it's companies are disappearing, is what else can I do? What else can keep me in the top echelon so that if I need to find another job, I can do it?
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at, how some of the people we know are doing things monthly where they're making good money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like $1 million a year off of 500-600 people, 500-600 people a month on video and other stuff that they do. And there's got to be a way for other people to do the same thing.
Yeah. Sorry, a weird email came in. Okay. I don't think that was meant for me.
Don't click on it.
Yeah. No, it's, I signed up with a new speaker bureau, and it was one that came in and said, "Hey, congratulations, your submission for something has been sent." So.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? But, so what's nice though, is like with Gmail, you now have like Gemini connected to it or AI connected to it. And if you think it's a bad email, you can have it scan the email and tell you whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
I had one that came in and I was like, ooh, and it was from, I think I told you about it. It was that when I was from Vegas. Remember the buddy there that has the gun
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Anyway, I don't want to get everything into it.
Right.
Anyway, so I emailed him back. I go, "Did you send this?" And the one email came and said, "Yes, I did." And then the other person is like, "No, don't.
Don't click on it." Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying what's nice is having AI attached to your email to be able to scan your email. Also, though, remember, if it's scanning your email, it's scanning your email.
That's just it. Well, it's kind of like, use like kid language, right? Sliding into people's DMs. There's so many people who won't put anything in a text message because, the phone company can find it, and so they were using Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, whatever for these communications that you think are private, but how private are they? Because like, what did I see that Meta was going to start reading messages like to train AI? Well, think about all the things that people are sending that they think, I'm hiding this because it's not through the phone company. It's like, but it's still electronic and it's digital. Like it's going.
Company.
Yeah. But it's out there. I mean, a really interesting thing when I was in corporate America that they always said is never put anything in an email that you don't want to read in front of a courtroom.
Right.
But that's kind of where we're at.
Or text. Or,
yes.
yeah.
Well,
like if I have something, I'll call a client and talk to them
yeah.
about something. I'm not going to put it in a text or an email or whatever. It
right.
could be, because to me, it's not that big of a deal, but to somebody else, it could be a big deal.
Agreed. And that's one of the things we were talking. I spoke at a mastermind in Florida 2 years ago, and it was about an investment type of thing. And they were having a bad year. And they said, well, I texted everybody and I'm like, oof, you need to get on a Zoom. You need to talk to people, get face to face if you can. If not, get on Zoom, FaceTime, something. And if you want to follow up to cover your butt with a text or email, great. But don't start with that. Because when you start with that, you don't know how the other person's reading it. So you just got to be careful with what you do on everything.
It's so funny. Somebody put on Instagram earlier today these prompts for Claude. I just saw that they did the same, another thing just like it, but it's prompts for Gemini. Same prompts.
Well, that's the funny thing. So we talked about that in that mastermind a week ago, is how many people are using AI and how many people are just selling what they know about AI.
A lot of people are. That's all it was free prompts, and it's like, you don't understand. It's like yesterday when they posted on this Zoom I was on, and they were like, the guy said what he was doing, and he put it in the chat. Well, you can't copy it because it's in the chat on Zoom. Yeah. But you can take a picture of it and then drop it into your AI that you're going to have it in anyway, and just tell it to read the picture.
Yeah.
It's like, but nobody understands. It's like, what the fuck? It's not that big of a deal.
Well, that's because AI couldn't do that originally. That's what people aren't keeping up on. But yeah, I did that the other day. I went and there was something I needed. I'm like, I'll just do a screenshot of it. And I just put it in and said, okay, go look at this. Yeah. And it did it. It was a great way to go through it.
Yeah. Since 25, it's been able to do it.
Yeah.
So,
but
late 24. Since 2024, it's been able to read graphs. Or graphics.
Yeah, but it depended on, like, did you save it as a PDF or did you save it as a JPEG? Like, some of them it would still struggle with, but now it can look at them all and just be like, okay, done.
Yeah. I mean, it's so much different. And it's just, as we stated today in the beginning with the new agents coming out, the Polymorphic, watch out. It's going to, so you're going to tell it to create software, and then it's going to keep creating the software better and better as it lives. And that's the thing about, like, the software I built for the veterans. You're uploading stuff in it with AI and stuff in there. That information will be in there forever.
Right.
But it's the same with no matter where you go, because you need that information there, and they connect you directly to VA, and that stuff is in everywhere. And I don't trust it in the VA versus other places. So
agreed. So
is that it?
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Gotta get
same
going.
here. Appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for being here, Brian. I appreciate you. If you like what we do here, subscribe, and also let us know. And we're here Tuesdays and Thursdays usually. I think next week, Brian, you're not here. Is that correct?
Yep. Next 2 weeks.
I will be here on Tuesday and Thursday. I'll let you know if I'm here, but if I show up. All right. Make it a great day.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.